Namaskar and good morning. We are coming to you with the third update from COP28, which is being held in Dubai, in the Expo City Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The situation of the negotiations and the expected results are very pathetic. There is nothing really exciting, nothing really hopeful that is coming out of the negotiations as of now, because there are, as you might remember from our last two updates, were three main issues and a few side issues which are also important. But the three main issues were, to remind you, one is the global stock take, that is whatever all governments have submitted their NDCs, that is their plans, what they will do to tackle climate change in terms of mitigation, in terms of adaptation, in terms of climate finance and loss and damage fund. So that what they will do in addition to what they have already said is really very low now. And the global stock take synthesis report, as you might remember, has shown that we are going to reach, if this is the plan that they stick to, even if they do it 100%, which many countries might not be doing, then even then we will reach maybe 2.9 to 3 degrees Celsius temperature rise above pre-industrial by the end of the century, maybe even more, because a lot of the IPCC projections are quite conservative. The second most important issue is climate finance. As you might again remember, that in Copenhagen in 2009, the rich countries came up with a figure of 100 billion from 2020 to be given to poor countries which are suffering the worst impacts of climate change. Even that has not been fulfilled. But there is a proposal which was hanging from the last few years. So this is one of the main negotiations. This is called New Collective Quantified Goal. This is not just 100 billion per year, because the losses that even the UNFCCC and other agencies, the UN agencies are estimating, even now, every year, the climate losses are reaching $500 to $600 billion. The total amount of money that needs every year to be invested in the global energy systems to shift them for the transition from coal, oil, gas-based energy systems to renewable, that is non-carbon, non-methane energy system. So that needs is itself more than $2 trillion per year to be invested. And many poor countries are not in a position to invest that money out of their own, because their revenues, their tax revenues, their total revenues are not actually enough to even cover their regular expenses. So that is the second most important thing which is under negotiation. The third most important thing under negotiation in COP28 in Dubai is the loss and damage fund, which was formulated last year, but which till date has not reached, even the total pledges of rich countries have not reached even $1 billion. So to come to that same conclusion, that if the losses per year due to climate extreme events globally is exceeding $500 billion, what this pledge of $1 billion till now, though they are saying that it will be increasing, but we don't have much hope that this will be, except some small change here and there. Some poor countries will really get a big help, which will help them tide over those losses. So this is the situation as of now. The important discussions about just transition, some text has come on just transition, but in that just transition text, the question of just or justice is very fuzzy. In the transition, people are talking about, of course, for more renewable energy, more electric vehicles, more of electrified systems. But the problem is, the biggest stumbling block in this negotiation are several countries. As of today, they are very clear that they will not accept an official text which talks about complete fossil fuel phase out. And the demand that has been made is fair, full, funded fossil fuel phase out. That means the rich countries will have to do phase out much before 2040 on their own, whereas simultaneously they have to support the poorer countries for this phase out, because this needs a huge investment. They have to support the poorer countries. That's why full, fair, funded phase out, fossil fuel phase out. So this text is still stuck, because several countries, including India has given a statement even before the COP, and there's no indication that position has changed. Saudi Arabia has clearly said they will not accept a text which talks about complete fossil fuel phase out. The OPEC Secretary General has written to all OPEC members that oppose any language in the text which talks about complete phase out of oil and gas, fossil fuels, including oil and gas. So this is the situation in terms of the most important ask from this COP, fossil fuel phase out well before 2050. The UN Secretary General has come back to this meeting again, and he has given a statement yesterday that I am back and I am hoping that the climate crisis is closing in on us, and I hope the countries will actually be taking cognizance and do rapid action. But that is yet to be seen. There was a talk that the new GST text, the GST is again the global stock take, and based on that, what should be done? The new GST text would be out last night. That has not happened. Very clearly, in negotiations continued till late night. There was no consensus. The Secretary and the President of the COP, they have called for a press conference. It was there. We were there in B8 zone, which is on the backside. But this press conference has been cancelled or postponed. So it's very clear, even now, when the ministerial people and the bureaucrats keep negotiating, the consensus about fossil fuel phase out, about finance and about sufficient pledges has not arrived. So on this penultimate day, we have 2 days left for the formal end of the COP28. Often it extends because if a consensus decision cannot be reached, and here I must mention again that in the UN system, if anything has to be adopted in such a negotiation, it has to be a consensus decision. That even if countries do not fully agree, they must not oppose it. Even if one member opposes this text strongly, this will not be accepted as a agreed text. And in the text, things which have been agreed, they are in the normal text, and things which are there as proposals and not agreed upon by all are kept in brackets. So there are a lot of these very important things like fair, fast, fully funded fossil fuel phase out. This is a proposal. This is in the text within the brackets. The proposal for new collective quantified goal to be much more substantial amount, those are also not yet agreed upon. And pathetically, even rich countries, if you talk about the richest country in the world, United States of America, they have committed a very, very paltry amount of roughly $18 million to the goal, to the loss and damage fund. And $18 million is just 2-3 villas in Dubai, luxury villas in Dubai. So you can understand the kind of farcical commitments these rich countries are doing. And even US or EU, when they are talking the European Union, they are pushing for a fossil fuel phase out language. But at home, they are also looking for more gas, more oil, like Norway. They are opening up more gas fields, oil fields in the North Sea. UK is giving more licenses for oil drilling and gas drilling. And even in UAE, where we are sitting, which is the host of this COP, the Marawa Marine Biosphere Reserve, which is probably the most important biosphere reserve in this entire Gulf Arab region. It's a marine biosphere reserve. A lot of biodiversity, seabirds, dugongs, coral reefs, sea grasses, mangroves, lot of biodiversity. That is being right now the drilling, preparation for drilling for very, very toxic sour gas with lot of hydrogen sulfide mixed in it. That is going on. And so civil society groups are protesting all across. They are doing actions in front of the negotiating room. They are confronting the negotiators, the official negotiators, both in the B1 zone, which is, you can see on this side, and the B8 zone, which is on the back side of my backside.
Climate justice! Now! Climate justice! Now! Climate justice! ¡No se rinde, carajo! ¡Vamos, pueblo, carajo! ¡El pueblo no se rinde, carajo!
This is going on. Civil society groups are protesting in the action zones. But overall, from the official negotiation, this is a very pathetic scene that we are very, very disappointing news that we are, as of now, we are bringing to you. Hopefully, there will be some positive news after tomorrow or day after when the COP finally ends. If that happens, we'll come to you the fourth and last update. Let's hope for the best, but don't expect too much. Thank you.